I'm so excited to be here with you. Also, I wanted to talk to you about something which I find rather remarkable. I looked at the Morgan Stanley report, which came out for the Swiss watch industry for 2023. And I would like to say that Cartier is, to me, the #1 watch brand now. I kind of put Rolex aside because I feel it's in a different category altogether.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes. And at 3.1 billion Swiss francs at wholesale, that is remarkable.
Thank you.
Now, what was really interesting to me also was that it's based on reportedly 660,000 watches, which means the average price of a Cartier watch is just under 6,000 Swiss francs. So what was remarkable to me was that actually it is, to some degree, relatively accessible. Yet somehow when I see a Cartier on someone's wrist, it feels incredibly special. What is this magic that you can make something feel so exclusive but so inclusive at the same time?
I think you used the right words. So we want to be, Cartier is the art of being unique, but both unique and universal. Means they can be approachable to many, and each of them should be happy and fine and proud of having it. So we have to be an exclusive brand, meaning the exclusivity of design that are really, really special, but everyone should feel invited. So how to be inviting without being banal, and how to be exclusive without being excluding. So when we do a high jewelry event or high jewelry collection exhibition like the one that's just finished in Abu Dhabi, there will be another one in Seoul, by the way, another one in Japan, and then in Shanghai in this autumn. It's open to public, and we see a very large number of people coming from everywhere who really can be at awe with all this beauty. So it's how to say the most exclusive part, which is high jewelry, not for everyone, and someone can be appreciated by a large number. And so that's about how to be exclusive and inclusive. You see the way we designed the booth here is really open. You come, you see, and you can do your own browsing. You can have some also sufficiently easy to understand relationship within the all kind of vintage pieces and old design which are so wonderfully modern, and the absolutely new creation. The one can be super simple at the tortue or super gorgeous like the one that you saw in the Mousqueton. When you see all that, you say, it's beautiful and there is something for me. If we have an accessible price at the Tonkmas, it should be beautifully designed and absolutely Cartier. And that's it.
You know, that's really incredible to me. Also, what that has done is also given access to Cartier to the younger generation. And it's really remarkable to me when I look at, social media, I see that people in their 20s feel as if they are the ones that have discovered Cartier, which I think, and I don't disagree with them because I think that's great. But so what's the magic trick, or what is the incredible leadership philosophy for engaging multiple generations at the same time? The people in their 20s, older people like myself, people even older
like
than
myself.
I mean, how do you do that?
Well, if you take the principle that it's a timeless brand, meaning timeless doesn't mean it's aging well, it means it doesn't age. Meaning when you look at the Trinity ring, you say, how old is it? It's 100 years old. It could be made yesterday. When a young generation go to see un Justin Clou, they think it had been made like 10 years ago. It's 60 years old. So it doesn't really matter. So the fact that, say, Cartier can provide creation that are true and relevant to any generation is the kind of the magic in some way. It means you're looking in a circle that every generation comes with the first time to discover something really beautiful, even if 2 or 3 generations before them have also appreciated. What changes, of course, is the lifestyle. What changes is the way people interact with each other. So you have to come to be relevant to a generation in the way it sees itself. And new generation has a strong perception of their own identity, sharing through social media, seeing with whom they want to relate to, and you have to be part of this world and to show that things can be fine and fine for them. As far as this is saying that this thing is beautiful in the same way their parents or sometimes their grandparents have done, but not in a way that looks old, then you are really into it in the new generation. When we relaunched the Panther, it was the Panther watch. The first thing say, how can we encourage people to wear them again? Because they didn't see at that time Cartier as something suitable for young. To offer to repair for free Panther that was in drawers, encourage then the young women to take their mother's watch, bring it for free and then wear. Immediately worn by young women who found that so beautiful. And then the Panther became young again, right away, with doing after sale as one of the best CRM marketing tools. and then by encouraging people to interact, also found that it was linked with generation. There's a part of modern life where most young adults don't live with their parents. They go to study somewhere else. If you want to keep the family link, what do you do? What can you keep? It's very usually difficult for clothes because it's difficult to have the same shape and taste as your parents, right?
Of course.
My children don't wear my things. They wear my watch and jewelry, but they don't want to wear something else. And so if you want to transmit something, what do you do? Transmit rings, watches, but then you have to have the desirability for that generation. And if it is, it becomes the link with the family. So we think about circular economy, but the most important is the transmission within the same group. And when you say it's both beautiful when you're 20, 30, 40, 50, or 60, then it can bring this link with the family that they want to keep. You can have FaceTime and WhatsApp, but also have something that you wear and that you show to your friends and the like. For these Trinity box, my son wants it, my daughter wants it. We have made a Trinity with Chito CAB. Now my wife, my son, my daughter, they all wear it, and each time they get a lot of comments say, wow, this ring is so cool and so modern. And whether my wife in her 50s and my daughter in 20s, they both can wear it and wear it together and exchange it, and it works on both. So that's a part to have a universal design that can be timeless, but then how to talk to the generation in the way which is relevant to them. So I think the thing to avoid is to say what we call jeunisme. I will make young product for young people, and they will advertise in a young way. And young people don't want that. They want what is beautiful. I'm not going to say, you will understand later, this is younger for young people. That's wrong.
Yes.
They have to understand the value of things which have been there forever.
You don't go to them, they will eventually come to you if you create something singular and beautiful.
Absolutely.
You know, and what you say also in terms of the circular economy of creating things that are durable and that never fade in terms of their beauty is really interesting to me. I know you are a very ethical leader, and you said something to me that was rather remarkable when I came to visit you in the manufacturer. You said during moments of crisis, brands traditionally would do two things. They would put pressure on their retail partners and they would put pressure on their suppliers. And they would try to eliminate that pressure from themselves. But in so doing, you create this chaos.
Yes.
Right? You create this situation of anxiety across every single entity. And you wanted to eliminate that, and you have. Tell me why that was important to you from both an ethical and a business perspective, because it clearly worked considering where you are now.
So on the ethical part, I say live and let live. If you work with partners, you have to make sure that they live well and that you understand what their strengths and fragility can be. When it comes to retailers, of course, they have to carry inventory to show to their customers, and this can be a kind of a higher portion of their cash and balance sheet. And if you are in a period of time where the sales can grow by 30 or 40%, and you plan for the next year, and of course you have to increase. If there's a shock coming in the middle and things kind of half the sales are not there, then you have built not 6 months or 1 year inventory, but 2 or 3 years, and then you can be run out of cash. And that's the part when you have such a volatility, it can happen. If you see what has happened, say in Hong Kong last year, with the reopening of China, let's say it can be 2-3 times what it was the year before. This year has been much softer. How can you understand that and you can be prepared to that? You just can. But if you see that from our perspective on the global view, the global view is much more stable. So if we can help our partners to monitor their inventory, they will never have too much. And then when something is moving from one region to another, we do the arbitration, then it's better for everyone. This way, what is say the brand and maison, as far as they have a worldwide footprint, then they have much more ability to do that. So as far as you can do it, the ethical part is say, I work with my partner in what makes sense for them, and I don't push my problem. Same for the supplier. You have to make them in condition that they can live properly. They can invest in technology. They can invest also in growing people's skills, because the more we come to things with very sophisticated shapes, but also know-how and movement, then you must have the craftsman that can do that, or the balance of industry and craftsmanship can work. So kindness, I think, is good for business.
Absolutely.
Contrary to many things. And I think you have to be tough to be successful. So you have to be clear to be successful, and you have to be kind to be successful in time.
I love that. Yeah, I always learn so much from you whenever I get to meet you. Let's talk a little bit about the watches that were launched this year.
Yeah.
So you've always said that technicity should always follow aesthetics.
Yes.
And I think that there's a watch here called the Tortue Monopochou, which beautifully expresses that. It is thinner than the previous model, the CPCP model, and now you have a movement shaped as a tortue. This is a wonderful way of having technicity follow aesthetics. Please tell me about this watch.
So it took 3 years to redevelop this one, because when saying the evolution of design and proportion, so that the type of oversized model or so forth is kind of fading away. We come to, for instance, the crash is quite small compared to what could be the big watches. And when you see what would the right shape for the tortue, this looks a bit small, but looks also just fine.
Perfect.
And so when looking at down, the tortue CPCP was a bit too thick. So I say, can we get thinner? Then the development team say, with the movement we have, no. So we have to redevelop entirely a movement for this one. I say, well, do it. And they say they took the challenge and say, because they're the cushion shape, that he can expand laterally and it worked. And so it's a beautiful piece. The dance and the aesthetic is absolutely beautiful. And the technicity to make this one push chrono on that kind of size is something which is a prowess. And that's the thing we like. They say it doesn't mean that technicality doesn't matter or not important, but it should never be the main thing. It has to come to serve a purpose, which is a beautiful design. So I think Tortue One Push Chrono, it was on the re-edition of Privé. One of say, when does it come? I say, it will come, it will come.
I remember asking you.
Because I remember you asked, they say, because it took this time to develop
Wow.
a movement. And I think, was it worthwhile waiting?
It was absolutely worthwhile, and it's so beautiful. So congratulations on that watch.
Wonderful.
We were talking about how you can have beautiful watches that are also a fair value. I think one of the greatest values in the watch market today is the Tank Américain and the large size automatic in steel. That watch is spectacular. When I come to think of a men's shaped dress watch, in that price category, I can't think of anything better.
To me, it's one of the best.
Yes, absolutely. It's wonderful to see two new versions of that watch as well,
Yes.
in yellow gold, and also this stunning version in platinum with this stunning salmon dial. Tell me a little bit about that watch and why you decided to make that.
We've been kind of in our portfolio revisiting, and in the Tank category have been many, the Tank Le Cartier and Tank Mas, and also in the Privé we did the asymmetric and cintré and others. But thinking that on the Tank American there were not enough done, either going to mini Tank American and for especially for Asia, but also a larger version in gold, in platinum, and something really sophisticated and beautiful. So we thought it was the time to do that, because there is a kind of large number of real connoisseurs who think Tank American is probably the most elegant, either Tank American or Tank Cintré, depending on how much curve you like, this kind of shape, which are basically one of the Cartier most beautiful signature, and I agree. So it was high time to go in that direction and to continue. Probably there'll be other elements of new dials also coming in there, because the Tank American is probably one of the most fabulous creation. There was an idea, what Louis Cartier called the mother idea, l'idée mère. And I say when you come into some shape in a family, then you can see already all the kind of offspring that will come as a genealogy. And the Tank Le Cartier have been an amazing part coming for the Tank Le Cartier itself, many elements, but then for the Tank American, Tank Français, and then all the other one Privé, asymmetrique, Tank à guichet, Tank basculante, Tank normal, Tank chinois. There's so many. They say the family can be so fabulous. And out of that, I think one of the most beautiful, the Tank Le Cartier, of course, and then the Tank American. So I have two Tank American at home, and today we're a Tortue. But I share your passion for the Tank American.
The last question I would like to ask you is about this magnificent Santos Dumont, which plays with your perception a little bit. It is called the Rewind. It is in cannelin for the dial, but it also has its indexes going counterclockwise and its hands traveling counterclockwise, almost as if you're going backwards in time.
Yes.
Now, you made a watch for a very famous Japanese artist/architect who made an exhibition with you in Tokyo.
Absolutely.
Now, did that watch also have any inspiration, or did that watch provide an inspiration for what we're seeing in the Rewind?
Yes. So it was Mr. Sugimoto, and the exhibition is called Crystallization of Time. At the beginning of the exhibition, he had made an old clock with the big crystal balance and weight, and this clock was going anti-clockwise. And one part of the concept of the exhibition is, say, when you go in jewelry, you work with stone that have been forged by us in millions of years, sometimes 100 millions of years. They accumulate so much energy that when they're done, polished and so forth, and you wear them, they give that energy to you. So you say, when they give that energy to you, you rejuvenate. So you go through exhibition, you are 20 minutes younger, or 100 minutes younger, depending on how long you've spent. So you say to express that, we'd like to have a tonal watch, one of a kind, which will be, well, the dial would be clockwise, but the hand will go anti-clockwise, which is actually rewinding the time. And then when you go there, you go earlier. And so this idea symbolically with the exhibition was really wonderful. But then thinking about this idea, say, can we have something which will be a more mirroring of yourself? Or if we think about time as cycle, and the way that the dial is made is cycle, kind of 12 hours, like a half a day. And then each one, if you do 2 cycles, you do 1 full day. And even if you have an element giving the month or so forth, all things are a bit of cycle. A new moon is a cycle. And then for Chinese astrology, every 12 years, you come to another cycle for yourself. If it's New Year, something will happen to you, right? So these things say that the human beings have been more living in cycles than living in linear time. So if you think about that, say something going anti-clockwise, meaning that there is less difference in the future and the past than we think. Summer is after spring, but before the next spring, right? There's spring, summer, autumn, but then next year it will come to another summer. So everything is before and after something else. You can also live in your life in moment, in era that define yourself. So if you think it's time of self-reflection and you look something going backward, it's not something nostalgic of the past, but maybe something you have to reset, sometimes you have to rewind on yourself. And we constantly have to put ourselves in this. So it's a very symbolic watch on a beautiful dial, very sophisticated, elegant, which is we can think differently and at the same time being in our time. And thinking about time not only as something, a convention of how human beings have been constantly measuring it, but the way we can think about ourselves, what it means for us. It means going forward, backward, do we have to step backward to take distance? And if we take distance, what do we see? So that's a very, very, I think, transcendental watch in some way. Because the theme also is we are in control of our time, even if we think we never have enough. But we always have enough. It's where the Stoics were saying, it doesn't matter if you think you can live 1,000 years, 2,000 years. Because things come in cycle and everything comes to be the same. You have the time you have. You live in present, and what do you do with your present? What does it tell about you and what you do with it? And if you don't have so much time left or a lot left, make sure you do some good with it. So this is a fantastic, I think, symbolic and philosophic watch. I love it.
I love it too. And another watch that I loved was the Temps Normal, which was created last year. And so I'd like to present you with Revolution Awards Best Design for 2023 for the Temps Normal. This is actually hand painted, so.
Wonderful.
Not by me.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
It was a great pleasure, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Thank you.